Hello world, this is Wolfstar Games, and welcome back to more Robotics Notes Elite. Last time we got a bit of a surprise with Heidi, with her showing up at school, of all places, and scaring the living poop out of Kaito's and Akiho's classmates. At the same time, Kaito had to think quickly and get her out of there. And then last we left off, we switched back over to Heidi's point of view. But before we do get back into things here, I wanted to talk briefly from last time of me saying that Kimijima Ko is like Henry David Thoreau. And I actually went and brushed up on his history, who he was and, what he did. And the more and more I read about him, the more and more I was seeing the similarities between him and Kimijima Ko. I mean, and the similarities are kind of staggering. I mean, if you take into account of what Heidi mentioned, that Kimijima lived on Tanegashima for 2 years. Well, with Thoreau, he lived on the shores of Walden Pond for 2 years. And I find that to be a very interesting similarity, because when Thoreau lived on Walden Pond, he was living a more simple life at that point in his life. And it seems to be the case with Kimijima as well, with him living on Tanegashima. I mean, he got away from the big city, I assume from Tokyo, and just came to Tanegashima, an island completely separate from like Tokyo or wherever else. I mean, we've seen a map of Tanegashima. There's nothing around Tanegashima that links Tanegashima to another part of Japan. At least by road, anyway. So I find that to be an interesting similarity, for one. And then just who Thoreau was. I'm finding that Kimijima is like Thoreau in who he seems to be. Granted, we haven't heard him say anything. We haven't met him. I mean, he's presumably dead. But with what we have learned about, I was about to say Thoreau, but what we've learned about Kimijima, I mean, he seems so similar to Thoreau, but just with a more twisted view, it seems, with his ideologies and philosophies. At least it seems that way, and it almost seems that the game is kind of painting Kimijima as a Japanese version of Henry David Thoreau. I mean, I may be reading too far into that, but it just... the similarities are so strong that I can't help but think that Kimijima is like Thoreau, but just with a more twisted mind. twisted to the point that he could potentially be, the game's like antagonist. At least that's how I feel. I mean, he's been refusing everything about the Committee of 300 and the Tavistock Institute, and it just seems that he is, how do I want to put it? He could be like an enemy of an enemy. I mean, the Committee of 300 and the Tavistock Institute has all the power, seemingly, and Kimijima has been spouting all this stuff about how those corporations are really powerful and influential, and how dangerous they can be. But now I'm just kind of thinking that he is the same. Like, while he may have refused them, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking that what if they finally got to him, that he finally caved and succumbed to their power, and he's been, like, I don't know, like, either brainwashed. Him being brainwashed actually would be make a lot of sense to the story of him being dead, quote unquote. It's like maybe if he is brainwashed, then maybe he considers himself dead, his past self. That would be an interesting possibility. Although I could be reading too far into it, and and you know how I am with doing that. So anyway, that's where I stand with Kimijima right now. It's like I'm now seeing him as a Japanese Henry David Thoreau. So, like, take what you will with that. I could be completely wrong, but just the similarities are just crazy. At least I think so. I mean, this is me we're talking about, so me looking too far into things may possibly, bite me in the butt, but, that's okay. I mean, this is the first time I'm playing the game, so it's all, like, part and parcel of, playing a game for the first time. You don't know what to expect and what to happen. So we'll see in due time what things may happen with Kimijima-ko or not. I could be completely wrong. Anyway, we'll finally get back into the game here. What have you been longing for, Airi?
その日がやってくるのを。毎朝そのベッドで目を覚まして、私が最初にやることは。
Wait, every morning that she wakes up on a bed? Wait. Is Airi Is Heidi indeed based off someone who is real? Was or is? If so, that makes Heidi more interesting. And I noticed on the calendar by the window that the year was 2008, which would make it a year before Heidi was created, right?
今日の天気予報をお伝えします。鹿児島県種子島屋久島地方、今日のお天気は
Garbled there. Why is that garbled there? Is the weather a spoiler?
優しい風が入ってくるその部屋。窓を開ければ日の光が反射してキラキラ光る海が見えます。潮の香りのする風に包まれながら、私はささやかな広さのベランダに出て空を見上げるんです。そうしてあまりの空の青さに私は絶望します。
What? She falls into despair? Okay, that's just sad. It's like, why did she fall into despair?
この家にはいつだって死の匂いが満ちています。
Ooh. Alright. Constantly filled with the scent of death, huh? It's like, what's the implication of that? And where is this house supposed to be? Actually, I wonder if this is supposed to be the house that Kimijima lived in.
それは誰のせいでもない私が発する匂いです。
The scent is coming from her? Oh dear. The person that she may be based off of is dead? Is that it? Oh. Oh. That makes me even more sad.
お医者様からは絶対に治らないって言われました。
Will never go away? What will never go away? Well, like a tumor or some kind of illness?
私はすぐに死ぬことはないだろうけど、この苦しみと闘病生活は一生続くんです。
An illness. So she died. The real person that idea is based off of died from an illness. What kind of illness was it, though? And you know, just to point out here, personally for me, I always become very disheartened when I hear in real life when a child has died. So having a character die like in a video game who's a child, even though that, you know, Heidi is an AI, it's like whoever she is based off of was a child who died. So that very much disheartens me.
普通の生活には二度と 戻れないんです。それでも最初はこの家にも笑い声が絶えませんでした。
This laughter. I swear the male laughter sounds like Kaito's VA. Or is that... Or am I off base?
お父さんもお母さんも私のことを第一に考えてくれました。そのために家だって改築したくらいです。
And of course they would prioritize her over everything else. It's like that with her being their daughter. It's like, was she an only child, I wonder? It's like if they prioritized her over everything, then probably she was probably an only child.
私はそれが嬉しくてずっとここで暮らしたいって心の底から思いました。
Okay, so what I'm getting from these perspectives from Airi is that these perspectives aren't exactly from Airi as an AI, right? It's actually the perspective of the person that Airi is based off of. It's like her desires, her wishes, before she had died. Oh.
でもそう思っていたのは私だけでした。そのうちお父さんはこの家にほとんど顔を出さなくなりました。
Why did he stop coming?
しばらくしてお母さんからお父さんはもう二度と戻ってこないって教えられました。
It's probably too broken up about her illness that he couldn't face her.
あの人は逃げたんだって、卑怯者だって、そう話すお母さんは悔しそうでした。そんなお母さんも何かあるとすぐに何もなくてもたまにもう疲れたって言うようになりました。
This would also explain the whole mom and dad deal from last time. She was referring to the mom and dad who were the parents of who Airi is based off of. Not so much Kimijima and whoever would be mom in Airi's life. Which I'm thinking more and more of it, that mom figure in Airi's life would be Misa-ne.
気がつけばお母さんも笑わなくなっていたんです。ある夜、私が寝ていたらお母さんが部屋に入ってきて私の首を絞めました。
Oh my god.
驚いて逃げようとしたらお母さんは泣いていました。ごめんなさいとばかり言っていました。
Jesus. Her mom didn't want to see her in pain, so she, like, I guess, euthanized her own daughter in a way. Oh my god. That is extremely sad. Oh.
そうして次の日からお母さんは私の顔を見ようとしなくなったんです。食事の時間以外はふらりとどこかに出かけていくことが増えました。きっとこのままお父さんみたいに戻ってこなくなるんだろうなって、そんな予感はしました。この広い家に私は一人ぼっちです。それでもお母さんにずっといてほしいとは言えません。だって私の病気のせいでお父さんは逃げ出したんだから。なのにお母さんだけを引き止めるなんてできません。お母さんはお父さんよりもずっと私の病気のせいで犠牲になっています。
Since she stayed. Yeah.
むしろ私の方から消えた方がいいんじゃないかって思ったくらいです。私さえいなくなれば、私の病気でお母さんが疲れることももうなくなるんですから。
I mean, any parent would be exhausted from having to, take care of a sick child. Especially this kind of illness, one that's, like slowly killing their child. Oy.
悲しいね。
It's very, very sad, yes.
誰ですか?
Also, whose voice was that? Was that supposed to be Kimijima's voice? Or no. I mean, if this is her real parents, then it wouldn't be Kimijima, right? So, never mind.
私のために泣いてくれるあなたは誰?
Right now,
モーターの側はね、基本的にガンツク1に使ったものを流用するの。
Right now, I'm kind of crying for Airi on the inside. Oy, that was a really heavy start. Oy boy. Oy boy. Oy vey. Oy. Man. Anyway, back to Akiho, I guess. We're not from her perspective, though. We should be from Kaito's.
だから一から設計し直す必要はなくて、僕の知り合いの設計屋さんが大阪にいるらしいんだけど、そこに発注して昨日一気に10機分も届いたんだから。
That's not bad then.
でね、蒲田のおっちゃんとかにも協力してもらって、この島の町工場総動員って感じなんだよ。
I'm currently playing Kill Ballad, but I'm also giving Akiho's progress report a few empty nods. We've been acting separately recently. I mean, they've been acting separately for a long time now. I wasn't expecting to be thrust right into Kill Ballad here. Am I gonna get control? Even for club stuff. I almost got that switch. I was about to say Stuff Club. So I haven't spent much time with her as of late. A few months ago, this would be unheard of. but we have been stopping by Uchagaoka Park after school together pretty regularly. As for why? The monopoles, of course. Got him! While listening to Akio talk, my hands continue to play KB. Oh, victory? Yep, victory! I've been on a winning streak against players around rank 200. I haven't been able to play much recently, but my senses haven't dulled.
ねえ、カイ。
Yes, Akio?
ん？
万博始まったらどうする？
Okay, now that I have control, I should be able to take out my phone droid here. Yeah. Alright, so I'm supposed to reply to a tweepo here. Let's see. Nope, not that one. Yeah, this one. This one. Rumfrau, alright. That place is a battlefield, not a game. And there's way too many people. In the summer, it's Defa? Defa, okay. Definitely. Defa waiting in line for hours in the blazing sun. Strong memories of waiting for 4 hours for major companies. Even though the old man next to me was having major bowel issues, I lived through it and stayed in line. Kind of TMI there, Frau. Let's see. Adding body heat on top of that must be way worse than heat on the island. I respect the passion, but I don't want to grow up like that. Or amazing. No one complains and just powers through it? Huh, these are interesting replies. Let's see which one I have to go with here. Okay, it's actually the third one here. Amazing, no one complains and just powers through it? Alright, let's see if there's another one. Nope. Akio asks while gazing at the TNSE rocket launch complex far in the distance.
どうって？
だってほら、万博の期間って半年ぐらいあるんだよ。2月から始まって8月末まで。
Isn't that an unusually long time for an expo to be held?
ガンツク2は会に操縦してもらうわけだけど、デモンストレーションを毎日やろうと思ったら。
A demo every day? I mean, I'm sure Kaito could do that, no problem. Would he want to, I guess, is the question.
会には毎日会場に足を運んでもらわなくちゃいけないわけで。
Right, yeah.
うちら卒業式にも出られないよ。
Yeah, what are they gonna do about graduation if the expo runs until August? I mean, I guess they could... Would they be able to come back to Tanegashima, graduate, and then go back to the expo?
それに8月までってことはね、次の年に向けての受験勉強だってろくにできないよ。
ああ、そうだね。
順にサブオペやってもらうにしても、あの子就職決まってるから4月以降はいなくなっちゃうでしょ。
Maybe, we don't really know that.
スバルとフラウボーは学校あるし。
Right, since they're a year younger.
そうなると4月以降はうちとカイしか参加できる人がいないってことになっちゃう。もちろんね、 東京に住んでる OB や OG の人たちにも当たってみるつもりだけど。
Oh, there you go. And that sounds like a pretty decent plan.
毎日会場に来られる人なんてきっと誰もいないと思うんだ。
Akio then sighs and covers her eyes. Why is she covering her eyes?
でね、この際だからお姉ちゃんの家に押しかけて同居しようかなって思ってるんだけど。
Show up unannounced? I don't know how Misa-ne would take that. I mean, sure they're sisters, but Misa-ne hasn't been talking to her sister. And with Misa-ne's, work, her position, it's like, that I feel could become an iffy kind of proposition moving in with her.
それどう思う？
Well, I already voiced what I think. What does Kaito think?
毎日万博会場まで30分くらいで通えるんだよ。ホテル代だって取られないし。
You wouldn't?
お姉ちゃんと一緒ならお父さんもお母さんも文句言わないだろうし。そうだ、カイも一緒においでよ。カイならお姉ちゃんもダメだなんて絶対言わないだろうし。
Akio's basically talking to herself at this point. Living with the Senomiya sisters, huh? What is he thinking exactly? I heard that Misa-ne has a pretty nice place, and since there'd be no cost for us, it's a pretty attractive idea. But more important than that is how painful it is to watch Akiho right now. Why is it painful exactly?
アキちゃん必死すぎ。
Doesn't sound like she's that desperate.
まるでさ、ミサ姉に必死でご機嫌伺いしてるみたいだ。
I mean, she is worried about her sister, so it may seem like she's desperate to know how Misa-ne is doing, so...
そんなこと。
It's not what you're what.
そもそもミサ姉にはちゃんとその話通ってるわけ？
I'm guessing not.
メールはしたよ。
Sent her a message. But she hasn't responded, right?
電話では話してない？
Yeah.
それはこれから。
It's like this whole game so far, Akiho and Misa-ne have not talked. It's like, seriously, what is it gonna take for the two of them to actually talk to each other? Akio avoids making eye contact with me.
相変わらず連絡取れないんだね。
忙しいだろうし、今東京は大変だから。
I mean, yes, that is true. She's been making the same exact excuse for over 6 years. Yeah. I mean, she can't be so busy, so incredibly busy, that she can't make time for talking to her sister. Let alone her parents. The two of them haven't spoken in over 6 damn years. And Akio loves the hell out of her big sister, so the problem is on Misa-ne's end. Yeah, clearly.
全部読んでいるわよ。秋のメールもね。
I remember her saying this. She has read each and every one of her sister's messages. But she doesn't respond. Why doesn't she respond? I don't understand. I mean, if she is trying to protect Akiho from whatever is going on in Misa-ne's life, I mean, she's pushing herself away from her little sister. If she continues to do that, Akiho will maybe, possibly, give up trying to contact her sister. And thereby just creating this huge rift between the two of them. And I don't really want to see that happen. I mean, Akio clearly loves Misa-ne. So I don't want to see Akiho be estranged from her sister. Why won't Misa-ne talk to her own sister? That's what I'm asking. It's like I am Kaito once again. I've never really thought too hard about it until now. I mean, I've kind of thought hard about it, but I really haven't done like a deep dive into why exactly. Has Misa-ne gotten herself involved with something shady? Kaito is practically voicing my thoughts here. Exoskeleton Company already smells fishy. I mean, it was mentioned in the Kimijima reports. And according to Frau's intel, her boss is connected to the Tavistock Institute. Yeah. But I can't bring myself to reveal any of these concerns to Akiho. That would make Akiho worry about Misa-ne even more. And if she knew about those things, Akiho would go headlong into trying to help her sister, only to get herself into danger, I feel. As of right now, they're just my own delusions. And those delusions, I feel, have significant weight to them. I don't want to unnecessarily worry Akiho. I mean, yeah. I mean, what was I just saying? At the very least, until I get my hands on some definitive info, I intend on keeping this to myself. That's a good idea. It's like, make sure you know everything before telling her. If at all. And what's wrong, Akio? Oblivious to my thoughts, Akio suddenly leans over the observatory's fence. She points at the sky.
落ちてきたよ。
There's one what? What is she pointing at? With the twilight winter sky as its backdrop, a small black stain slowly falls to the ground. Oh, a monopole. That's what they're watching fall? Monopoles. Yeah, I mean, seeing that so many have fallen here already.
今日4個目。
fourth one. Okay. I mean, when the disturbance hit, it was like over like 10 to 20, right? So before the disturbance hit, how frequent did the monopoles fall? That's what I'm wondering now. We've already found 3 monopoles just from doing a loop around the park. These things just keep falling. I guess the antenna on top of the tower is still functioning.
雪ですよ。雪やこんこん、雪やこん。
Oh, it's like Heidi's singing. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. That brings my mood up more than how we started things. Heidi is unusually excited. It's like she wants it to snow. She wants a white Christmas.
やっぱり冬ですもんね。雪も降りますよね。
It is winter, yes, but it hasn't actually snowed yet.
アイリ何言ってるの？
Does Akio know about the bug?
雪なんてちっとも降ってないけど。
I mean, we haven't seen Kaito talk to Akiho of Heidi being bugged.
もっと降ってほしいですね。できれば積もるくらいがいいです。アキホは雪を見たことがないんですか？遅れちゃってますね。
Get with the times. And then she whips out her glasses. Akio then grins and whips out her trusty glasses. Without the lens, of course. Here comes another quote from him. Quote unquote. I was saying that so much last time. It's like, I apologize for saying that so many times last time.
アイリうちのことを誰だと思っているのだ？
It's like, would she even have an inkling of who Akiho is supposed to be with those glasses?
もちろん雪くらい見たことあるよ。っていうか、屋久島に行けばすぐ見られるしね。
Okay, Yakushima. But we're not in Yakushima.
この辺りで一番手っ取り早く雪を見る方法はですね、なんと隣の屋久島に行くことなんですよ。
I feel like Heidi just kind of repeated what Akio just said.
うん、だからそう言ったけど。
There we go.
まずいよカイ。
What's wrong?
もうすぐモノポールが墜落する。急いで回収に行かないと落ちた場所がわからなくなっちゃう。
Oh, okay. So we're trying to keep track of where the monopoles are landing. Alright. So in a way, it's kind of like watching a wishing star. Instead, these are wishing monopoles. It's like, make a wish, Akiho, before the monopole hits the ground. Akio cuts off her conversation with Heidi picks up the bug net sitting on a nearby bench and races off. And we're trying to catch them as well as they fall? With a bug net?
そんなに走ると発作が出ちゃうよ。
We usually leave the bug net on the second floor of the old local hall building. A monopole fresh out of the sky will zap you if you touch it barehanded. So we use the net. Smart idea. It's a little life hack. Not exactly a life hack. It's just smart to not touch it barehanded. As I watch Akio dash away with net in hand.
昭和のわんぱく坊主だね、まるで。
What? I can't help myself. It looks like a kid straight out of the 80s? How would Kaito know what kids were like in the 80s? I'm in no rush to chase after her. Instead, I stay put and raise my phone droid up to my face. Hi, Heidi. Heidi is looking up at the sky. She has a welcoming smile on her face.
何がそんなに嬉しいわけ?
She's always happy. It's like, I don't think I've ever seen her in any other state of emotion.
お兄ちゃん、雪が。
降ってないって。
Humor her, Kaito. Just for the time being. Heidi's expression goes blank as she turns toward me. And after tilting her head sideways, in that adorable, cute, confused little face.
明日、鹿児島県種子島、屋久島地方のお天気は曇りでしょう。
I'm gonna do that every time.
降水確率は 30%、最高気温15度、最低気温。
What's with the flickering? Why the weather forecast? She always says the weather. It's like, come on, Kaito. Is she seeing things? I mean, I guess since she is, you know, buggy, a little glitchy, she might be. Even though she's an AI. That's crazy. You know, to be honest, I don't think it's all that crazy. Alright, oh! Mizuka's perspective. Alright. What's going on with Mizuka? It's been a long time since we've gotten Mizuka's perspective. Do I even remember the voice I gave her? I don't think I do. I parked the car in the rear parking lot and walked back around to the front. Even though my voices for the females in any game, really, are very limited. Because, of course, I'm a guy. It's like... I mean, I can't do a falsetto all that well. And the best I can do is just make my voice a little higher. So I try. I parked the car in the rear parking lot and walked back around to the front. The cool thing about the Hug is that cars don't have to be modified. I can drive like any non-handicapped person. Well, that's good. Though I'm usually stuck watching the store, so I don't get to drive much. In all honesty, I sometimes forget that my legs are disabled thanks to the hug. Interesting. Huh. I guess that just really goes to show how useful and how advanced the hug is. But because this thing has become a part of my body, I can immediately notice subtle discomforts. This is probably because I use it on a daily basis. Oh, of course. Even a hug engineer wouldn't know the difference. There's a slight grinding feeling when I walk. Slight grinding feeling. As if a small amount of sand got stuck in the gears. I've been feeling this since the day before yesterday, and once I noticed it, it became impossible to ignore. I've been going to the beach once every 2 days, so I'm betting that's the cause. Oh, okay, yeah. A grain of sand, at least a little bit, in the gears, that could cause a little bit of grinding. Sure, yeah. I probably shouldn't hang around the beach too often. I look up at the sky, pretending to glare at a god I don't even believe in. Oh. So she's not religious? Either she's not religious or she's an atheist? The sun is hidden by a layer of dark clouds.
Yo!
Hi, Michi! He's actually wearing something slightly different. I mean, he's wearing a sweater underneath his tracksuit. And a tie. What's with the tie? I mean, he looks good. Otherwise, I mean, it looks real. Although it does look just slightly weird that he's wearing a tie and a sweater underneath his tracksuit. That's just a little odd. It's like all of a sudden turned into a fashion consultant.
なんだ、ミッチーじゃないか。
Sounds like her mouth is full.
今日は学校休みじゃないのかい？
教師ってのは何かと忙しくてな。今日も京都で休日出勤さ。これ豆知識な。
I mean, I'm trying to determine if this is actually a pro tip or not. It doesn't feel like it is.
あとついでにイレをクリスマスパーティーに誘いに。
Oh. So there's going to be a Christmas party at school? Is that it? I can't help but scoff at his choice of words.
何がクリスマスパーティーだよ。単なる飲みの誘いだろ。
Oh, maybe not at school then. He's just inviting her to a Christmas party.
そうとも言うな。
母さん、戻ったよ。
Mom was watching the place while I was gone, so I let her know I'm home. She says she hasn't had lunch yet, so I immediately take over and send her back to the back of the store. I want to prevent her from coming into contact with Michi as much as possible. She doesn't think all that highly of Michi, does she? Not enough for her mother to meet him, I guess. She's been trying to hook me and him up since the dawn of time. What? Really? Oh my god. That's actually hard to picture. Mizuka and Michi in a relationship? That's really hard to picture. I mean, I feel like they're so different from each other. Then again, I guess, I mean, opposites attract sometimes, so... But boy, this is a piece of info that I wasn't expecting. What's she thinking? I guess she just wants her daughter to be well cared for, I guess. And more than likely also to get hitched. I sit on my usual seat and take a small breather. 2 cans of coffee appear next to the register.
1本は異例に。
What is this face Michi is making? That's what it kind of looks like. That face is not very becoming.
ありがとう。気が利くじゃないか。ミッチーの分際で。
After receiving payment for the drinks, I open the can he bought me. The warm, sweet coffee seeps into my body.
で、クリスマスに飲み？またいつものメンツかい？
I mean, it was nice of him to buy a drink for her, even though it's a drink from her store.
ああ、今回は5人くらいじゃねえか？
Only 5 people? That's as many people as you could get for your Christmas party? Ever since Michi and I came back to the island, we periodically get together with our old high school pals. Okay. Also came back to the island? It's like, when was this exactly? There are never huge gatherings, since only about 10 of us still live here.
あんたも寂しいね。一緒に過ごす女の子とかいないわけ？
I mean, if her mother had any say, she would tell her daughter to spend time with Michi.
その言葉、そっくり返すぜ。
Yeah, that touche there, Michi.
言うようになったじゃないか。
It's like, you wanna go, bro? Come on, jabroni, come on! Let's do it! I shoot him a fierce glare, and he smiles and breaks eye contact.
お、怖っ。
I chug the rest of the coffee. This place is empty even during lunch. But that's how it always is.
で、ヤジオはどうだ？
What is Mizuka? Kaito's keeper? It's like, come on, Michi, why are you asking her this?
おお、あんた少しは教師らしくなったんだね。生徒の心配するなんて。
顧問ってのもあるし、教頭から普段の生活態度を見とけって言われてるんだな。あ、これ内緒な。
Even outside of school? Come on, Michi. I lower my shoulders and send them a sign of acknowledgement. People really tend to spill the beans during casual conversations like this. Probably because I'm just a simple girl running a simple little store. I mean, she does lead a pretty simple life. I wonder if there's anything to that, given what I went over with Kimijima being similar to Thoreau.
学校じゃ問題児だよ。ヤシオと瀬宮妹は。この時期に進路が決まってねえのはあの二人だけだ。
That doesn't make them troublemakers.
ロボ部が忙しいんだろ。わからないのはカイだ。なんだってこんな時にいきなりサーフィンやりたいなんて言ってきたんだか。
And of course, she would be confused by this. But of course, Kaito has not told her why.
あんた、何か知ってる？
知るわけねえって。むしろ俺が聞きたいぐらいだ。
Hey, that's fair. It's like Michi doesn't know his students outside of school, right? So, useless. Michi is very useless, yes. And yet he still calls himself their advisor. Even though he really doesn't do anything, really. I mean, yeah, he went to Robo 1 with them, but as their, as like a guardian, but he didn't really do all that much while we were there. So, he's not much of an advisor.
イレは理由も聞かずに教えてんのか？
Yep.
正直なところ、なんか嫌な予感がするからさ。私もあまり教えたくはないのさ。
I mean, she honestly has every right to have a bad feeling about what is going on with Kaito. Even if she has no idea what exactly is going on. Sticking my nose into someone else's trouble will come back to bite me in the ass. Okay, so she doesn't want to know then? Plus, when I'm with Kai nowadays, I sense that girl's presence. It makes me uncomfortable. Aidi's presence. Why is she so uncomfortable around Aidi? What is it about Aidi that makes Mizuka uncomfortable?
その割には熱心に指導してるみたいじゃねえの。また情熱が戻ってきたが、俺は結構嬉しかったんだぜ。
Her passion to surf? Is that what he means? Of course, clearly she can't surf anymore, if that is what he means.
事故以来、お前はサーフィンから離れちまったからよ。また海に通うようになるなんて全く予想してなかった。
Maybe just a passion for teaching someone how to surf. Not so much surfing herself. Since it was a passion of hers before her accident, even though that she distanced herself, she's missed it, hasn't she? Surfing. So, with Kaito coming to her to ask how to surf, her passion for surfing has resurfaced.
別に大してこだわりはないよ。
I think otherwise. During college, I got into a motorcycle accident. That's what happened. Okay. My legs have been busted ever since. That's all there is to it. I mean, it does happen. Unfortunately. It's like, how bad was the accident? I mean, were her legs completely crushed or something? Or what exactly happened? I can't surf with these legs, so I naturally distance myself from the ocean. I mean, yeah, at first I was so depressed that I wanted to die. Oh. But with time, I came to accept what happened.
ま、カイのおかげで自分の高校時代を思い出したのは確かだけどね。
You did.
毎日のように海に通ってたあの頃の自分の若さってのもさ。
It has her reminiscing about the good old times. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's not like I find any of that nostalgic. Surfing was fun, but it was just a hobby of mine. I mean, a hobby that's a passion, or I kind of had that backwards. A passion like that, that's a hobby. I mean, that's like that's also like Juna with her karate. She's done it for years. Misa-ne, not Misa-ne, Mizuka has done surfing for years. Both are hobbies that are a passion. It's hard to break a passion like that. And unfortunately with Mizuka, that passion was abruptly altered, unfortunately. So, I mean, I feel bad for Mizuka. I mean, for her not being able to surf herself, but with her surfing knowledge, she could easily teach others to surf. I mean, that's how she could get back into surfing, just being a surfing coach. For other reasons, I've decided to close the lid on those memories and pretend they never happened. Now, don't do that. And yet that girl keeps appearing in front of me.
あんたさっきネッシーに指導してるって言ったろ？
I mean, with the way she was coaching him, she was serious. So...
そう見えるなら、それはただの買いかぶりだよ。
It's like, I've seen the coaching. It's like from the other side of the screen here, I've seen the coaching. So it seems like she's very serious about coaching Kaito.
私はただ。
Just what? It's like, don't give me some silly excuse.
イラついてるのさ。
Pissed off. Okay. Elaborate. It's as if she sees right through me. It's like she's telling me that I'm trying to run away from being the bad guy by pretending I saw nothing. I was going to put a lid on all of this and carry it to my grave without ever telling anyone what happened. 9 years ago, on the final night of the summer, the night when the H-2A rocket launched. Whenever I see that girl, I can't help but remember. It's not like I was deeply involved in any of the accidents on that day. Wait, any of the accidents on that day? Is that the same? That wasn't the same day that Kaito and Akiho were on that ship, was it? And Mizuka's accident probably as well. The most exciting thing about that day on the island was the rocket launch. It was an event us islanders enjoyed once every 6 months, like a ritual. It was held night that day, oddly. It was held at night. The previous year, there was a launch that occurred at 2 a.m., but not too many saw it because of how late it was, of course. So an evening launch was a first for a lot of us. It was a high school first year. I was a high school first year. I think I'm reading ahead too far. My friends and I, Michi included, went to go see it at Hase Park. At Hase Park. You'd think that you'd get a better view of the rocket launch from Uchagaoka Park. I recall being fascinated by the rocket's beam of light cutting through the night sky, but at the same time, I was right. That was when the MF Anemone incident occurred. Of course, I had no idea at the time. Well, how could she? I found out about the incident after coming home from watching the rocket launch. I'd heard from my friend Misa that Aki and Kai, who were visiting Kagoshima for a field trip, were on board. That's right, they were on a field trip. I forgot that little detail. I knew Aki and Kai through Misa. Concerned, I tried to contact her, but it went right to her inbox. With no other choice, I headed to Nishinomote Harbor on my own. By the time I arrived, the harbor was filled with people and noise. The ship had already docked, and the passengers who were involved were reuniting with their families in relief. All of the passengers, including the kids, looked emaciated, but they could walk on their own and seemed stable. But no matter how much I looked, I couldn't find Kai or Aki. I didn't see Misa or their families either. After wandering around for a while, the police and medical crew that were standing by suddenly started to panic. Why did the police and the medical crew start panicking? I had a bad feeling about all this. After waiting for a bit, I saw Kai and Aki get carried away on stretchers. They were unconscious. Yeah, boy, this is a pretty major flashback. They were the only 2 passengers who didn't wake up that day, and nobody knew why. I swear it's like they were chosen. It's like they were chosen to have these abilities. Kaito's slow-mo and Akiho's fast-forward. It's like, why Kaito and Akiho with these abilities? And I really want to know if anyone else on board were inflicted with any abilities as well. I mean, I can't remember how many passengers were on that ship? Or ferry, excuse me. I mean, you think that a lot of people would be inflicted with some kind of ability and not just Akiho and Kaito. I was so shocked that I couldn't even call out to them. Rightfully so. All I could do was watch from afar. Right as they were being loaded onto the ambulance, Misa arrived on her scooter. Oh. Misa was unusually calm and collected, but she was freaking out. She clung to the pair, calling out their names. She was completely distraught. Oh, that really did a number on her, didn't it? Seeing them like that.
Aki, Kai, ごめんね。ごめん。
It's like, there's really no reason to be sorry. I mean, it was a situation that was out of her control. Misa just kept apologizing to them over and over again. For some reason, she chose not to ride with them in the ambulance. Really? I thought she would actually go into the ambulance. Be with them. She just watched as the ambulance drove off. I approached her, wanting to try and comfort her as best as I could. And that's when I realized something dreadful had happened to Misa. I still remember seeing her there, to this day. Something dreadful had happened to Misa-ne. What would that be? Exactly. It was as if she just ran through the woods. She was covered in dirt. The hem of her skirt was torn. But above all else, her clothes. It's like they're dirty. Dirty and a little bit bloody, it looks like. I mean, those look like bloodstains to me. Her clothes were covered in dark red stains. They looked like blood. It was then that I made eye contact with her. And Misa, after gazing at me desperately, Misa collapsed on the spot without saying a word. It was the first and last time I ever saw Misa looking so weak. When she's usually so strong. And so I promised myself that I'd never do something as insensitive as ask her what happened that night. I put all those questions in a box, sealed it up, and decided to never open it. I just held Misa tightly in my arms. Just being there for her is enough. It's like, don't necessarily need to, say words to comfort someone. Just being there for her and, just in a hug, a hug can calm people down. And because I never asked about it, Misa never talked about it. She continued to cry, keeping her voice down. It was a week later when I heard that the body of Kimijima Ko had been found. He had been murdered. Okay. So he did die? Okay, well, that kind of shoots down my theory that he could be alive. Then again, Mizuka only heard that his body had been found. Wait, are we indicating here that Misa-ne murdered Kimijima-ko? Especially since she had blood on her? It's like, oh boy. Now my gears are turning. About 9 years have passed since then. I've always been afraid of that girl. Of Misa-ne? Ever since then, Mizuka has been afraid of Misa-ne? Wow. But before that, they were good friends. The tide really turned on that relationship, didn't it? Wow. The AI personality that Kimijima-ko created. An unknown existence that can talk just like any human. She must have been watching. Is she being Heidi? I don't care what happened. I've sealed it all away. It'd be easy to put it all together, but I didn't care what the truth was, for better or for worse. I think she does care, but I feel that Mizuka is scared to face that truth. So she feels like she has to put up a front that she doesn't care what the truth is. I decided to stick by Misa's side, but I'm scared that girl, Heidi, might one day tell someone what she saw. She saw the whole thing go down, okay? She saw her master get murdered. Oh, I never planned on ever seeing that girl again, and it'd be great if she vanished. That'd be the best outcome. Wow. But when I think about how she's been hanging around Kai, I can't see her with my naked eyes, but I can feel her roaming around him, judging me. I don't think Heidi's judging you, Mizuka. I can't hear her voice directly. But when I hear Kai and her talking from afar, I get so scared that it makes me want to scream. That's why it pisses me off. But according to Kai, I just have to wait until Christmas Eve. On that day, the ghost of my past might finally vanish. The ghost of her past. It seems that Mizuka has a lot of ghosts in her past. And she's just terrified to face that. To face them. Kind of gives another meaning to Heidi being from other people's perspective of being a ghost. And then I'll never have to suffer her penetrating gaze ever again. Well, That was a very interesting look behind Mizuka's eyes. Oh boy, and she clearly has a lot of, as she put it, ghosts in her past, excuse me. She has a lot of unresolved issues to bear, and I hope for her sake that she actually faces her past and, you know, overcomes everything that happened. And I mean everything. Everything with Misa-ne, Kimiji Miko, Airi. I mean, even her legs, her accident. It's like she also needs to face that as well, I feel. I mean, I feel like she hasn't really faced that head on. I mean, it seems that way to me anyway. But anyway, I think I'll stop it here for now. We'll pick this up next time. So I hope you all enjoyed watching, and thank you all for watching as well. And if you enjoyed the video and want to see more, like, favorite, and claw that subscribe button to become part of the pack. And as always, everyone, I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, wherever you may be.